The stars stretched across the void, calm and unbroken, as if the galaxy itself was holding its breath. In the Sol system, humans were busy in quiet preparation. To the eyes of most alien observers, humanity appeared peaceful, even fragile. Just another curious species that had crawled out of its homeworld and ventured into space. They did not know that humanity was hiding secrets that would soon make the galaxy rethink everything it thought it knew. On the planet Aegis Prime, a world carved for industry and science, Captain Ilara Voss walked briskly through the gleaming corridors of the Central Command. Her boots clicked against polished metal floors. Screens and holographic projections lit her path, showing schematics, star charts, and fleet movements. She stopped at a large projection of a Titan-class war machine, its massive limbs folded neatly, its sensors scanning as if it were alive. These machines are not just tools, Ilara said to herself, tracing a line along the projection. They are proof that humanity can face the universe and survive. Around her, engineers and technicians moved with precise coordination, their attention focused on calibrating, testing, and fine-tuning the enormous war machines. These machines were unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Towering like skyscrapers, bristling with sensors, thrusters, and adaptive AI cores, they were capable of surviving in any environment. Ice worlds, volcanic planets, even the vacuum of space. Yet, despite their name, they were not designed to destroy. Humanity had built them to protect, adapt, and solve impossible problems. Ilara's second-in-command, Lieutenant Kale Rin, approached with a tablet in hand. "Captain, the alien observers are scheduled to arrive in less than 2 hours," he said, his tone tense but controlled. "They want to see the machines in action." Ilara nodded. "Good. Let them watch. Let them understand why we never panic. Let them see that humanity does not fight because we must, but because we can solve anything." Kale frowned slightly. "Do you think they'll believe it? After all, most of them still see humans as fragile." Ilara's lips curved into a small, confident smile. "Fragile? That is their mistake. They have never faced the storms we have survived, the worlds we have tamed, or the challenges that would break any other species. They think strength is power, but they forget one thing. Humans can think, adapt, and endure. And our machines? They are only the beginning." Meanwhile, far above the planet, a fleet of alien observers drifted silently. Their ships were sleek and elegant, designed for speed and efficiency, not intimidation. Representatives from multiple star systems were aboard: the crystalline Zorvans, the tentacled Myrathi, the winged Ellerai, and many others. Each species had its own theories about humanity. Some called humans reckless, some called them clever, most called them a mystery. "Hi." Counselor Thorell of the Zorvans adjusted his viewing lens and studied the planet below. "I do not see war here," he said in his melodic voice, which resonated through the observation deck. "I see preparation, coordination, machines of great size, but they do not appear aggressive." Myrathi diplomat Kathra snorted. "Aggression is not always visible, Thorell. Humans are unpredictable. They act without reason that we can always understand. That is dangerous." Ilara, unaware of the alien conversation, had already climbed into her observation deck. She could see the alien fleet forming a circle above Aegis Prime. Their sensors would scan every movement, every adjustment of the machines below. She leaned on the railing and watched her creations hum to life. From the ground, the Titans moved. They were slow at first, careful, testing their balance, their coordination. But even as they moved, they seemed graceful, almost alive. Their enormous limbs shifted, jets firing tiny bursts to correct posture, sensors scanning the environment, algorithms running faster than any alien could imagine. Below, human engineers coordinated the movements, but it was clear the machines had their own intelligence. They adjusted, adapted, and learned with each motion. Ilara tapped a control pad. "Begin sequence alpha. Show them what we can do." The Titans obeyed without hesitation. In a synchronized display, they lifted enormous sections of asteroid-like rock, assembling them into defensive structures around the testing zone. Some extended their arms into the sky and projected shields of energy, forming shimmering walls of light that reflected the stars. Other machines moved with speed, racing across valleys, leaping over massive chasms, their sensors mapping the terrain with perfect precision. From the alien fleet, there was audible murmuring. The LRI winged diplomat tilted his head. By the stars. They are not attacking, yet their precision is terrifying. Cuthra's tentacles twitched in frustration. It is not terror that should concern us. It is their unpredictability. Even their coordination defies logic. How do they do this? Ilara watched the reactions below and felt a quiet satisfaction. Humanity had built these machines for protection, for survival, for solutions no one else could imagine. And now, for the first time, the galaxy would see that human strength was not just in muscle or weapons, but in creativity, courage, and ingenuity. Hours passed as the demonstration continued. The Titans performed feats that alien science considered impossible. They lifted massive asteroid fragments into precise formations. They deflected simulated meteor storms. They even rerouted rivers of molten metal in a controlled flow, showing not just brute strength but problem-solving ability. Ilara allowed herself a rare moment of pride. "This is what humans are," she whispered. "Not the weak species you see in your textbooks. Not the curious explorers you underestimate. We are the ones who will adapt when nothing else can." The alien observers, meanwhile, were silent. Some were fearful, some amazed, and some, like Thorell, were silently reconsidering everything they had believed about humans. Finally, Ilara called an end to the demonstration. The Titans froze in perfect formation, lights blinking in unison. The engineers on the ground cheered softly, careful not to seem too eager. The aliens slowly opened their communication channels. High Counselor Thorell was the first to speak. "Humans, I admit we underestimated you. Your machines, your coordination. It is unlike anything we have seen. It is not destruction you wield, but control, precision, intelligence." Kithra hissed softly. "Control. Yes, but unpredictability still frightens me. I do not trust them entirely." Ilara smiled calmly. "You do not need to trust us. Just watch, observe. Humanity does not act for fear or conquest. We act because we can. And when we do more than survive. We create solutions others cannot imagine." She looked out at the stars. Somewhere in the distance, humans were exploring, building, colonizing. Somewhere else, machines worked silently on distant worlds. And somewhere above, aliens who had underestimated humanity were realizing a truth that would echo through the galaxy. Humans were different, special, dangerous, but not in the way anyone expected. Ilara turned back to her command panel, her mind already racing with future possibilities. Tomorrow there would be new challenges, new tests, new worlds. But for now, humanity had made its first statement, not with violence, but with intelligence, creativity, and the quiet power of war machines built to think, adapt, and protect. As the stars shimmered above Aegis Prime, a whisper of awe traveled through the galaxy. The humans below were small in size, unassuming, but the machines, and the minds that commanded them, were proof that the universe had never faced anything like this species. The alien fleet lingered above Aegis Prime, its ships casting shadows over the sprawling cities and industrial complexes. Silence hung in the void, broken only by the quiet hum of the Titan-class machines and the distant chatter of human engineers. The demonstration from the previous day had left the alien delegates unsettled. They had seen humans move mountains literally and manipulate the environment with machines that seemed alive. But today the humans intended to take things further. Captain Ilara Voss stood on the observation deck, her eyes fixed on the largest Titan, the prototype called Aegis Prime 1. Its massive limbs glinted under the planet's sun, its sensors sweeping the horizon. Beside her, Lieutenant Kyle Wren adjusted the controls, preparing for the next phase. "Are you sure about this, Captain?" Kyle asked. The aliens have never seen anything like this before. Some of them might panic. Ilara shook her head slowly. No, Kale. They need to see the truth. Humanity's machines are not designed to destroy. They are designed to think, adapt, and protect. Today, the galaxy will understand that. Below them, the Titan-class machines began to move in unison. The demonstration was no longer about simple coordination. It was a display of intelligence, strategy, and precision. Massive crates of raw materials were lifted from one location to another, assembled into structures faster than any human crew could manage manually. Drones scuttled along the machine's joints, performing fine adjustments, while the Titans themselves adapted to shifting terrain, sliding over cliffs and leaping across chasms with ease. The alien observers watched in stunned silence. High Counselor Thorell of the Zorvans floated closer to the viewing screen, his crystalline body reflecting the sunlight. Remarkable, he murmured. They do not attack. Yet their machines move as though they anticipate every problem. Their intelligence, it is not artificial, it is human. Kuthra of the Marathi hissed. Do you not see the danger? Such coordination is impossible to predict. If they chose, they could destroy entire fleets without warning. This is not merely cleverness. It is unpredictability itself. Ilara noticed their reactions but did not flinch. Instead, she pressed a button on the console. The Titans extended their arms skyward, and a low hum spread across the demonstration field. Energy shields projected outward, forming a shimmering dome that stretched hundreds of meters. Tiny drones zipped around the edges, reinforcing the structure. Kyle leaned close. The shields, they're nearly invisible from this distance. The aliens must be confused. They are, Ilara replied, her gaze fixed on the fleet. And that confusion is the lesson. Strength is not just about weapons. It is about adaptability. It is about seeing what others cannot see. Suddenly, the demonstration shifted. A simulated disaster scenario was triggered. Massive boulders the size of small buildings were released from a high orbital platform. They hurtled toward the Titans, meant to test their reflexes and adaptability. The Titans reacted instantly. Some extended massive arms to redirect the boulders, flinging them safely into uninhabited valleys. Others emitted bursts of energy to vaporize debris mid-air. One machine even extended a net of reinforced energy threads, catching a boulder and breaking it apart piece by piece. The alien fleet responded with astonished chatter. Their reaction time, faster than anything we have, said an LRI winged diplomat. It is as though they anticipate the future. High Counselor Thorell nodded slowly. Not anticipation, he corrected. Understanding. The machines do not guess. They analyze, adapt, and execute. And humans are directing them in ways that are unprecedented. Ilara watched the scene unfold, her heart steady but proud. This was exactly what she had wanted. The aliens were not being impressed by size or firepower. They were seeing the essence of humanity, creativity, courage, and an unbreakable will to overcome challenges. After the simulated boulder attack, the Titans began a new demonstration: environmental manipulation. A nearby valley had been filled with simulated lava flows, representing a volcanic eruption. Most species would have retreated, but the Titans moved into action. Massive treads churned the molten rock, creating temporary channels to redirect the flow. Jets of pressurized water cooled critical sections while drones constructed barriers to protect sensitive equipment. The alien observers gasped. "They are saving the landscape," exclaimed a Zorvan engineer aboard Thorell's ship. "Not just surviving, they are restoring it." Ilara allowed herself a small smile. "Humans do not conquer nature," she said softly. "We learn it. We work with it. And when others would panic, we create solutions," Kyle whispered beside her. "It almost feels like magic." Ilara shook her head. "Not magic. Ingenuity. Perseverance. That is what humans do. That is why we are special. Hours passed. The demonstrations grew increasingly complex. The Titans worked together, forming enormous structures, constructing bridges across canyons, even creating energy grids to reroute simulated storms. Each display was more astonishing than the last, yet not a single weapon was fired. The aliens could not hide their astonishment. Myrathi diplomat Cuthra's tentacles twitched nervously. They are not using weapons, he admitted reluctantly. But the power they wield, it is absolute. No other species could match this. Ilara noticed his hesitation and spoke over the comm. You are correct, Cuthra. We could destroy you if we wanted, but we choose not to. Humanity's power is measured not by destruction, but by the solutions we create when everything seems impossible. A moment of silence followed. Then slowly the aliens began to record, communicate, and even discuss among themselves the implications of what they had just witnessed. High Counselor Thorell's voice was steady, yet tinged with awe. The humans' machines, their coordination. It is clear now. This is not a species of reckless explorers. This is a species that thinks differently. They do not merely react, they innovate. And that is extraordinary. Ilara nodded. In that instant, she understood something profound. The demonstration was not about showing power, it was about showing potential. The galaxy had underestimated humanity for centuries, and now the truth could not be denied. As the sun dipped below the horizon of Aegis Prime, the Titans formed a final display. They arranged themselves into a massive, intricate pattern, spanning kilometers. Energy shields outlined the shapes, forming symbols that represented humanity's commitment, unity, creativity, and protection. From orbit, the alien fleet watched in silence. Many were awestruck, a few remained wary, but all knew they had witnessed something unprecedented. Ilara turned to Kale, her eyes reflecting the shimmering shields below. Tomorrow, the galaxy will begin to understand, she said softly. Today, they have seen our machines. Tomorrow they will see the humans behind them. Kale nodded, though he looked slightly uneasy. And what if they react badly? They will not, Ilara replied with quiet certainty. Most will admire, some will fear, but all will respect. Because what we have shown is not mere power, it is human ingenuity made real, and the universe cannot ignore that. In the alien council ships, discussions continued deep into the night. Some species began debating alliances with humans, others reconsidered previous prejudices. Across the galaxy, rumors would spread. Humans had unleashed machines unlike any other, capable of reshaping worlds, protecting civilizations, and solving impossible problems. Yet they did it all without violence. Ilara watched the stars from her observation deck, feeling the weight of her responsibility. Humanity had revealed a fraction of its potential, and the galaxy had noticed. The real test, she knew, would come soon. The Titans were impressive, but they were only the beginning. It was the humans behind the machines who would change the galaxy forever. Somewhere in the quiet void of space, the first whispers began. The humans. They are not what we expected. They are something else. Ilara smiled. That was exactly how it should be. The stars shone above, calm but expectant. The galaxy was watching, and humanity, as always, was ready. The calm above Aegis Prime did not last. Deep in the void beyond the human colonies, a massive asteroid storm, larger than any recorded in nearby star systems, was detected heading toward a human colony world. Sensors blared alarms through Central Command, echoing through the polished halls. Captain Ilara Voss stood at the helm of the observation deck, her eyes fixed on the holographic projection of the storm. "Kyle," she said, voice calm but commanding. "This is it. The first real test." Lieutenant Kyle Rinn leaned forward, tapping on his tablet to pull up trajectory calculations. "It's huge, Captain. The colony has limited defenses, and the storm is moving faster than predicted. Even the standard defense grids won't hold." Ilara's gaze did not waver. Then we won't use the standard grids. We will use the Titans. And we will show the galaxy what humans do when faced with an impossible problem. The alien fleet, still hovering from the demonstrations, intercepted the alerts. Messages rippled through their channels. Many species assumed the humans would panic or fail. They did not know that humanity thrived on challenges that would break others. High Counselor Thorell whispered to his council aboard the observation ship, "If they succeed, it will change everything. But if they fail..." He did not finish. The thought. Failure was not part of humanity's vocabulary. On the colony world of Vega 7, humans worked frantically to evacuate civilians. Automated systems guided thousands into shelters, while drones lifted critical supplies to safe zones. Meanwhile, the Titans were deployed from orbit, descending like metallic giants. Ilara monitored every movement. Aegis Prime 1, deploy. Sensor arrays across the storm's path. Titan Delta and Sigma intercept the largest asteroids, keep them from reaching the colony at all costs. The Titans obeyed instantly. Their massive forms leaped across mountains, activated thrusters, and positioned themselves with precision. Smaller units zipped ahead, scanning debris and predicting movement patterns with incredible speed. The alien observers leaned forward, stunned at the speed of coordination. "They are orchestrating the storm itself," said Cathra, tentacles curling nervously. "It is not mere defense, they are controlling it." Ilara smiled. "We are not controlling it," she said softly. "We are understanding it. We are working with it." The storm struck with full force. Asteroids the size of small cities hurtled down, some spinning at terrifying speeds. Titans extended massive arms, catching rocks midair and redirecting them safely into uninhabited valleys. One of the largest asteroids veered unexpectedly, and Titan Sigma moved in a perfect leap, using its thrusters to slow the rock's momentum and divert it. On the ground, humans watched with awe and relief. Evacuation crews marveled at the Titans' coordination. They had trained for disaster, but nothing could have prepared them for machines that thought so quickly, adapted so fluidly, and acted with perfect precision. From orbit, the alien observers could not hide their shock. The Ellerai diplomat whispered, "They are saving the colony with war machines, without harming anyone." "Yes," said Thorell. "This is why humans are different. Not because they are stronger or faster, but because they can improvise solutions no one else can." As the storm continued, unforeseen challenges arose. A massive asteroid split in two mid-flight, one half heading directly toward the colony's main energy hub. Ilara tapped her console. "Titan Beta, intercept and stabilize the smaller fragment. Titan Gamma, prepare to reinforce the energy hub with shields. We cannot afford any failures." Titan Beta leaped into the path of the fragment. Its massive arms absorbed the impact, redirecting pieces away, while internal systems repaired damage instantly. Titan Gamma extended its energy shields, wrapping around the hub like a protective cocoon. The aliens watched in awe. Even the Marathi, who had been skeptical from the beginning, whispered in admiration. "They are unstoppable when they work together." Ilara, however, remained calm. She did not boast. She simply analyzed, adjusted, and gave new commands. Every Titan moved as an extension of her mind. Each problem met with instant adaptation. Hours passed, and the storm began to weaken. Thanks to human coordination, small Titans moved debris into stable orbit. Larger Titans reinforced structural weaknesses, and drones repaired environmental damage in real time. The colony was safe. On the observation deck, Ilara allowed herself a moment to breathe. Kale stood, beside her, still tense. "Captain, that was incredible. I've never seen anything like it." Ilara shook her head. "It is not incredible. It is human. We are faced with challenges every day that would break others. Our machines amplify what we do best: think, adapt, and persevere. Today, the galaxy saw humans at work, not in theory but in reality. The alien fleet began sending transmissions. Some congratulated, some were wary, and some openly admitted astonishment. Humanity had proven something profound. War machines could be more than weapons. They could be instruments of survival, ingenuity, and life. As the storm subsided, news from the colony confirmed the success. No lives were lost. Damage was minimal. The Titans, though showing signs of wear, had performed flawlessly. On the surface, humans cheered, hugged, and celebrated quietly. They understood the gravity of what had been accomplished. Alara turned to Kale. This is only the beginning. The Titans proved themselves, yes. But the real lesson is for the galaxy. Humans do not act out of fear or destruction. We act out of understanding. We act to survive, to create, to solve what others cannot. Kale nodded, impressed. Do you think the aliens understand that? They will, Alara said. It may take time, but they will see. Today, humanity did not just defend a colony. Today, humanity revealed its true nature, and the universe will remember it. That night, under the twin moons of Vega 7, Alara walked among the human engineers who were performing maintenance on the Titans. Children waved from safe observation zones inspired by the machines and the humans controlling them. Adults whispered about the incredible feats they had just witnessed. One young engineer approached Alara. Captain, how did you know exactly what to do? Even the machines seemed to hesitate, and you fixed everything instantly. Alara smiled gently. We did not know everything. No one can predict every problem. But humans have something other species often lack: the ability to think, to adapt, and to never give up. The Titans are powerful, but it is the humans behind them who make them extraordinary. The young engineer nodded, understanding more than words could explain. Humanity's strength was not just in technology, it was in the minds, hearts, and courage of the people who commanded it. Meanwhile, the alien fleet continued to orbit the planet. Discussions erupted across species. Some questioned whether humans would always act peacefully. Others realized that humans' true power lay not in destruction, but in ingenuity and adaptability. The demonstration had been a revelation. High Counselor Thorell addressed the assembly. I admit, I underestimated them. Humanity's war machines are extraordinary, yes, but what is truly extraordinary is the humans behind them. They do not rely on brute force. They rely on creativity, strategy, and courage. These qualities cannot be replicated. Cuthra, still hesitant, spoke quietly. They are dangerous. Yes, but perhaps not in the way we feared. They are inspiring. Alara, watching the stars from Vega 7's surface, knew they had achieved something far greater than defeating a storm. They had shown the galaxy that humans were not just explorers or survivors. They were problem solvers, innovators, and protectors. And the Titans were only the beginning. As the moons reflected, light over the Titan machines, Alara whispered, Humanity is ready. The galaxy may not understand us yet, but one day it will. From orbit, alien sensors recorded every movement, every adaptation, every solution. The message was clear. Humans were not merely another species in the stars. They were different, unique, unpredictable. And the galaxy would never forget the day humanity faced an impossible storm and triumphed without firing a single weapon. The galaxy was changing. News of humanity's war machines, and the way humans use them, spread faster than light through trade channels, communication relays, and diplomatic transmissions. Stories of Titan-class machines saving the colony, on Vega 7, redirecting asteroid storms, and solving environmental disasters without firing a single weapon became legend. Captain Alara Voss stood aboard the command deck of Aegis Prime, watching the projections of dozens of new requests for human assistance. Entire star systems wanted consultations. Planets threatened by natural disasters, technological failures, and unstable orbits sought the guidance of humans and their incredible machines. Lieutenant Kale Rin walked beside her, his eyes scanning the list. Captain, look at this. Every system in the sector wants help. Even the coalition of Zorvans and Mirathi. They're requesting our assistance directly. Elara nodded. Good. Let them see what humans can do. Not through fear, not through force, but through ingenuity and coordination. Let the galaxy understand that our strength is in our ability to solve problems no one else can. The first ripple effect became evident on a distant mining planet in the Hyron cluster. The planet had been suffering from frequent seismic disturbances, causing cave-ins and widespread panic. Alien engineers had tried to stabilize the situation, but all attempts failed. Human engineers and Titans arrived. Within hours, massive sensors were deployed, seismic patterns analyzed, and adaptive machines positioned in strategic points underground. When tremor struck, the Titans reacted instantly, creating support structures, redirecting unstable rock, and deploying shock absorbers to prevent collapses. From orbit, alien observers could hardly believe their eyes. The Ellerai diplomat exclaimed, "They are controlling the quakes, without destroying anything." A Mirathi engineer scribbling notes in her datapad hissed, "It is impossible. No species could do this, except humans." Elara, monitoring the situation from Aegis, Prime smiled. "Humans are not about destruction. We are about understanding, predicting, and adapting. Our machines amplify what we do best. That is why the galaxy must pay attention." In another system, a gas giant's moon was on the verge of catastrophic collapse due to erratic gravitational shifts. Alien scientists had abandoned hope of stabilizing it. Humans arrived with a fleet of Titans and drones, working tirelessly to build stabilization grids, energy dampeners, and orbital adjustments. Within days, the moon was secure. Alien inhabitants, previously skeptical of humans, openly praised their abilities. Thorell, observing remotely, whispered to his council, "Humans are not merely powerful. They are unparalleled. Their solutions are elegant, effective, and imaginative." The ripple effect became political as well. Species that had once doubted humanity's capabilities began forming alliances, eager to learn from humans rather than challenge them. Smaller civilizations looked up to humans as models of problem-solving, strategy, and survival. But not all reactions were positive. Some species, particularly those that prided themselves on strict logic and rigid planning, tried to imitate humans' strategies. They failed spectacularly. Machines deployed without creativity malfunctioned. Plans executed without adaptation collapsed. The lesson was clear. Humans' ingenuity could not be copied. It had to be lived. Back on Aegis Prime, Elara convened a meeting with her top engineers and strategists. "The galaxy is watching us," she began. "Some admire, some fear, some try to copy. But our mission remains the same. Use our machines, our minds, and our courage to protect and solve problems wherever they arise." An engineer raised a question. "Captain, some species are trying to replicate the Titans. They're failing. Badly. Should we intervene?" Elara shook her head. "No. Let them try. Let them fail. They will learn the same lesson humans learned long ago. Ingenuity cannot be replicated through imitation. It must come from thinking, adapting, and daring to act where others hesitate." Meanwhile, Kale monitored alien communications, noting the growing fascination with humans. "Captain, some of the coalition members are actually sending us requests for advice on their own planetary issues. They want us to guide them, like teachers." Elara's lips curved into a quiet smile. "Let them learn. The galaxy needs to understand that humans are not just survivors or explorers. We are problem solvers. That is our greatest weapon, and no one can take it from us." Across the stars, human ingenuity was setting a new standard. Colonies that had been struggling for decades began thriving under human guidance. Alien civilizations learned to respect humans, not because of fear, but because humans acted with clarity, creativity, and courage. The ripple effect extended beyond science and engineering. Diplomacy, trade, and culture began changing as well. Humans were invited to mediate disputes, advise on planetary management, and collaborate on exploration. The very idea of war machines took on a new meaning: tools for problem-solving, protection, and innovation. However, the ripple effect was not without challenges. Some alien species grew envious, attempting to manipulate or control humans for their own advantage. Others doubted humanity's intentions, fearing that one day, humans might turn their ingenuity toward domination. Ilara addressed these concerns calmly. We cannot control how others perceive us. We can only act with integrity. Our machines, our knowledge, and our courage are meant to help, not dominate. The galaxy will respect humans when it sees the results of our actions, not through threats, but through solutions. Kale nodded, though he looked wary. And what if someone tries to misuse our guidance? Ilara's eyes gleamed with quiet determination. Then they will learn the same lesson every other challenge has taught. Humans do not act out of fear or submission. We act with vision, courage, and creativity. Those who try to misuse that will only fail. The ripple effect soon reached the alien coalition itself. Leaders who had once scoffed at humanity began consulting human engineers on planetary stability, energy management, and crisis response. Delegates admitted, sometimes reluctantly, that humans' approach to problem-solving was unlike any they had encountered. Thurell, addressing the council, said, "We underestimated them, not their strength, not their speed, but their minds. Humans act differently. They think creatively, adapt instantly, and persevere where all others would fail. That is the true power of humanity." Kithra, still cautious, admitted quietly, "I feared them at first. But now, they are remarkable. Not just their machines, but their way of thinking. The galaxy must learn from them." Ilara, watching from Aegis Prime, realized something profound. The Titans were impressive, but the true ripple effect came, not from machines but from humans themselves. It was their ingenuity, courage, and adaptability that inspired others. Machines alone could not replicate that. As new requests for assistance arrived from more distant systems, Ilara felt the weight of responsibility. Humanity was no longer just exploring the stars. Humans were shaping the galaxy's future, not through conquest, but through solutions, leadership, and inspiration. She turned to Kale, who had been quietly observing the growing reports. "The galaxy is changing," she said softly, "and humans are at the center of that change." Kale nodded, still awed. "And to think, it all started with war machines built to protect, not destroy." Ilara smiled. "Yes, and that is the lesson the galaxy must learn. Power is not just about weapons. Power is about thinking, adapting, and acting where others hesitate. That is humanity's gift." Across the stars, stories spread. Colonies once forgotten now thrived. Alien engineers documented human methods, trying and failing to imitate them. Diplomats and leaders recognized humans as problem solvers and innovators, capable of tackling challenges no other species could. The ripple effect was unstoppable. Humans' influence was growing not through fear, not through conquest, but through the brilliance of their minds and the courage of their hearts. Ilara watched the galaxy from her observation deck, the stars reflected in her eyes. Somewhere far away, children on distant colonies were dreaming of titans. Scientists were inspired to innovate. Leaders were learning to think differently. And humanity had only just begun. The ripple effect had begun. The galaxy would never be the same. The calm of space shattered with a warning no one had expected. Deep sensors across multiple star systems detected a massive cosmic anomaly, a chain reaction of unstable energy bursts spreading through nearby stars. Entire solar systems were at risk. Captain Ilara Voss stood on the observation deck of Aegis Prime, her eyes scanning the projections. This was no ordinary disaster. The energy waves moved unpredictably, warping space-time, threatening planets, colonies, and alien civilizations. "Lieutenant." Kael'Rin's voice was tight with tension. "Captain, this is worse than anything we've faced. If it reaches the inner colonies, billions could be at risk. Even our Titans might not be enough." Ilara's expression was calm, yet determined. Then we won't just use Titans. We'll use humans. Every mind, every skill, every machine at our disposal. This is what humanity was built for. Not to conquer, but to solve the impossible. The alien coalition watched from orbiting stations and distant fleets. The same species that had once doubted humanity now looked to humans with a mixture of hope and fear. Could these strange, unpredictable creatures save the galaxy from destruction? High Counselor Thirell of the Zorvans floated silently in his observation deck, his crystalline form shimmering under emergency lights. "If they fail," he whispered, voice tinged with worry. But he did not finish the thought. Failure had never been an option for humans. Ilara called the fleet together. Titans were deployed in orbit around multiple at-risk planets. Drones, shuttles, and human engineers spread across systems. Every sensor, every AI node, every human mind connected in a vast network of coordination. "Our plan," Ilara explained, "is simple in principle but impossible in execution. We will stabilize the energy waves, redirect them away from populated systems, and prevent the chain reaction from destroying these stars. Every Titan, every ship, every human with skill will play a part. Timing and adaptability will be everything." Kyle shook his head. "Captain, this is madness. Even the aliens, they can barely understand it." Ilara smiled calmly. "That's why it will work. Madness is just a perspective. Humans solve what others cannot. Watch and learn." The cosmic anomaly moved, faster than predicted. Massive energy surges ripped through the void, warping gravity and radiation patterns. Human Titans adjusted instantly, massive arms extended, thrusters firing to stabilize orbit, energy shields forming temporary corridors to redirect the waves. From the observation fleet, alien delegates gasped. "They are controlling the energy?" whispered an Ellerai diplomat. "Impossible." Thirell shook his head slowly. "Not controlling, solving. Humans do not impose force. They adapt, calculate, and act." On a distant colony world, an energy burst threatened to ignite the atmosphere. Titans and drones worked in harmony, redirecting streams of plasma, absorbing excess energy, and repairing atmospheric disruptions in real time. Human engineers guided the machines, improvising new solutions with every second. Kale watched one Titan stabilize a collapsing star-bound satellite. "Captain, even I can't believe it. They're everywhere at once, reacting to everything and succeeding." Ilara's eyes gleamed. "Not reacting, adapting, solving. That is the difference. Every species waits for the problem to reach them. Humans act before it's too late." As the crisis intensified, unexpected challenges arose. A rogue energy wave split into multiple branches, threatening several colonies simultaneously. Titans redirected energy flows while human pilots navigated unstable space currents to repair failing satellites and energy nodes. In orbit, Ilara coordinated actions with precision. Each Titan was assigned a zone, yet every human operator could adapt, reallocating resources as new threats emerged. The galaxy watched in awe. Kithra of the Myrathi, who had once doubted humans, hissed quietly. They are everywhere, controlling everything, and yet, not one life lost." Thirell nodded. "This is why humanity is unique. Not strength, not weapons, ingenuity, courage, and adaptability. They save what others cannot even comprehend." The Titans worked tirelessly, their massive forms moving in synchronized precision. Energy shields, plasma absorbers, and gravitational stabilizers formed a web of protection across multiple star systems. Drones zipped through space, repairing, analyzing, and redirecting. Human engineers on remote consoles improvised solutions faster than any AI could calculate. On Vega 7, citizens watched the energy surges from safe zones. Children waved at the distant Titans as if they were heroes from ancient stories. Adults whispered in awe. realizing the humans they had once thought ordinary were capable of shaping the fate of stars themselves. Alara moved through the observation deck, issuing commands with calm authority. Redirect the flux on Beta Sector. Adjust the shields on Vega 7 orbit. Deploy reinforcement drones to Sigma Cluster. Timing is everything. Kale shook his head. Captain, there's no margin for error. Alara smiled. There is always a margin, Kale. That margin is human ingenuity. We will find solutions where others see none. Hours passed. The energy waves began to stabilize under human guidance. Titans and drones worked in flawless coordination. The alien fleet watched, riveted, as the humans performed feats no other species could even imagine. Thorell, speaking to his council, admitted reluctantly, "We have underestimated humans for centuries. They are unlike anything in the galaxy. They do not merely survive, they solve the impossible." Kithra, still cautious, added, "It is frightening and inspiring. The galaxy has never seen such capability without violence." Finally, the last energy surge approached Vega 7. A massive wave threatened to collide with the colony. Alara activated a full-array protocol. Every Titan extended its arms, thrusters firing, energy shields forming a perfect dome over the planet. Drones reinforced the perimeter, while engineers worked to stabilize orbital nodes. Time seemed to stretch. The wave hit the shields, crackling energy cascading around the protective dome. For a tense moment, nothing moved. Then the shields held. The wave dissipated safely into space. The colony was saved. From orbit, the alien observers erupted in astonishment. The Zorvans, Mirathi, Ellerai, and others transmitted messages of admiration. Humanity had not just survived the cosmic disaster, they had mastered it. On the surface of Vega 7, Captain Alara walked among humans and Titans alike. Engineers checked systems, civilians cheered, and children ran around the massive machines. She looked up at the stars, where energy waves had once threatened life, now calm and still. Kale joined her. "Captain, they will never forget this." Alara nodded. "No. The galaxy has seen what humans can do. Not with weapons, not with destruction, but with courage, creativity, and intelligence. That is humanity's true power." In the skies above, the stars seemed to shimmer with approval. Perhaps it was the reflection of energy shields, or perhaps it was the quiet acknowledgement of the universe itself. Humanity had faced the impossible and prevailed. News spread across systems faster than light. Entire civilizations told the story. Humans had unleashed war machines not to conquer, but to protect and solve the unthinkable. Scientists marveled, children dreamed, and leaders respected. The name of Captain Alara Voss and her Titans became legend, a symbol of human ingenuity and courage. High Counselor Thorell, addressing the alien coalition, said, "The humans have shown us the future. Strength is not measured in destruction, but in the ability to think, adapt, and act when others cannot. They are extraordinary." Kathra, speaking quietly to herself, admitted, "We underestimated them. The galaxy will never be the same." As calm returned, Alara looked out at the stars, Titans standing silently around her. The cosmic crisis had been averted, yet she knew humanity's journey was far from over. Other challenges awaited, other systems in danger, other anomalies in space, but humans were ready. Always ready. Alara whispered to Kyle, "This is only the beginning. The stars have cried out and the galaxy has listened. Humanity has shown its strength. Not in war, but in ingenuity, courage, and heart. That is what will guide us forward." Kale nodded. "The universe will never doubt humans again." Alara smiled, the stars reflecting in her eyes. Humanity had unleashed its war machines, not to conquer, but to save, protect, and inspire. And the galaxy would remember the day the stars cried out, for humans had shown what it truly meant to be extraordinary. The Titans stood silently, their massive forms humming softly in the void. Children on distant colonies looked up and imagined what humans could achieve. Alien civilizations reconsidered their place in the galaxy, inspired by ingenuity over destruction. And somewhere, deep in space, the first whispers began. The humans, they are not like us. They are something else. Elara knew the truth. Something else indeed. Humans were extraordinary, and the galaxy had only just begun to understand what that meant. The stars were calm now, but the echo of humanity's triumph would resonate forever.